If the car gives me any trouble after 3 years, I'll just trade it in. We regularly hear this objection following our menu presentations. Not only could we consider the following in response to this, but as a follow-up to many standard objections. I'll share with you a way to save thousands in depreciation expenses and still finance your new vehicle conventionally. Sound good? If we aren't tabling this idea with our guests when they present a host of various objections, we may be missing an opportunity to educate. Gravity is the law and math is math. To explain, notwithstanding the occasional exception, we could all probably agree the average new vehicle will probably depreciate at least approximately 50% in 3 years and 75% in 6 years. Additionally, for the purposes of our discussion, let's use 8% as the sales tax rate. If the new vehicle purchase price is $50,000, our guest is left with $25,000 after 3 years. They traded in for a replacement not unlike the original in price after 3 years. Sales tax on the $25,000 difference is $2,000. They have therefore spent $52,000 in a 6-year trade cycle. Folks do trade vehicles in early, after all, that begin to show signs of trouble. By comparison, however, we are now able to explain that purchasing a $3,500 vehicle service contract will save them $11,000. Here's how. After the same $50,000 vehicle depreciates 75% after 6 years, our guest is left with a vehicle worth $12,500. As a result of our educational efforts, this same guest invested in a $3,500 VSC, covering them for 6 years. Therefore, when the vehicle gets sick after the first 3 years, they won't have to sell it back to escape the drama. They have now spent $41,000 to get to the same break-even point after the same 6-year trade cycle. We have saved them $11,000. Practically all they've missed is the new car smell after 3 years, but that certainly isn't worth $11,000. If the new vehicle being purchased is $40,000, the savings will be $8,100. With a $30,000 vehicle, the savings will be $5,200. With a $20,000 vehicle, the savings will be $2,300. Obviously, the numbers shrink as the new vehicle price decreases. Anymore, however, it would seem as though we are processing more new vehicle deals for $40,000 than for $20,000. Not that saving $2,300 in 6 years should be diminished. Of course, as always, we will write the figures down to cater to our visual learners, as well as those who are auditory. It is recommended to write the first sequence, then a border drawn down the long axis with the second sequence to the right of it. Side-by-side vertical math calculations are clear, concise, and easy to follow. The math is the math. Of course, as always, this is not to try to convert our traditional 3-year trade cycle consumer into that of a 6-year. That would hurt the efforts of the front end, and we're all in this together. We do, however, owe it to the rest of our guests to point out these laws of math. After all, as our guests have said, if it starts giving me trouble, I'll just trade it in. They will, but probably somewhere other than our store, because they are now unhappy. Remember, results have shown that our happiest customers are those who don't pay for any of their repairs for all covered parts and labor, less their deductible. Plus, we're such nice people, confidence is high, we'll offer them a disappearing deductible. And in your case, folks, there isn't even a deductible when you take advantage of our shop. Of course, we have now supported our shop and given the service department the opportunity to win the guest over further. This all happens with the goal in mind towards securing future sales. Think about it. Good luck and good selling.